Hello, this is Natsuya, and this is Writing Mental Health on Gothic Androgyn podcast. And I want to say thank you if you tuned in again today. I took a little bit of a break, had to kind of wrangle some cats running around in different directions in my mind and kind of pull all that back together. So we are still working on that, but I want to take that lesson over the past week or so and talk a little bit about forgiving yourself, and it's okay to be you. And I wanted to actually bring up some of the things that I've learned over the past week. There's been a lot of newness and change, and I know that there's been some full moons and some retrograde, a bunch of energy flying around. And I know also that one of the things that I have been trying to learn, and let me tell you, I can be quite the stubborn idiot, and I have been kind of beating myself up a little bit about that, and that's something that I've been working on. And part of that is with this, using energy and positive thoughts and law of attraction and consciousness. And I think I understand this fundamentally, like spiritually and philosophically, but I have to admit, I have myself been through a bunch of stuff, some of it, sure, self-induced, like for example, grow a boundary and learn to keep it. I've been walked on, and I'm not going to always say that's somebody else's fault, and that I'm some victim and people are beating me up. Well, if somebody steps across your boundary, well, guess what? You allowed that. And that's something that I learned. And I have to take responsibility. It's not like, the whole world is attacking you and blah, 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 you're perfect, because I am definitely far from perfect. I can be quite the idiot sometimes, which is, something that I have, always embraced. But I think that, one of the things that I do, I tend to apologize a lot. And that can, kind of be a boundary killer in and of itself. If somebody steps to you incorrectly, or they're rude or something, you need to stick up for yourself and say, hey, I am not going to accept that type of treatment. In the past, I would have just kind of potentially, said, oh, that's okay, whatever, you're my boss or you're my superior, so sure, you're the superior, so I guess no wrong, so yeah, sure, walk all over me, you're the general, I'm a grunt, I'm just a soldier, so yeah, whatever you want. Well, that might have been fun in the past, but, I grew a boundary, and that seemed to have upset some people, because jump how high, you ask me to do something that is against my moral code, I don't care what you have to say, I ain't gonna do it. And so, I know that, integrity is a big thing for me, and so is the truth. And sometimes, the truth can come out blunt, or, I'm not going to put some unicorns and rainbows and sprinkles on it, If the truth sucks, the truth sucks, and I don't care how pretty you make it look, it still sucks with sprinkles on it, And so in the past, I would have just, maybe, put my tail between my legs, or went and got my sword and went to battle, but there's some fights that, are not worth your time, just get up and walk away. If you believe in something and somebody believes in something else, and they're willing to hear you out, and you're willing to hear them out. I mean, you should always take the time to hear somebody out, but, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. And, everybody has the right to believe whatever they want. And that's it, But sometimes I think with all of the propaganda and the fear and the projection and the keeping up with the Joneses, or, I have this, you don't, like, for example, I have a fancy car, I'm better than you, and like I said in my last video, I got paint chipping off my car, and that's not, that may be something in this current world, you have a fancy car, that's, a status symbol. I remember one of my friends, used to say, have you earned your BMW yet? And I guess that was something, that's kind of a joke, we had back freshman year of college. And my friend would ask me that, and I said, no, I haven't earned my BMW yet. But yeah, I could buy a BMW if I wanted to. But you know what? Somewhere deep down in my soul, I haven't earned my BMW yet. And I want it to mean something, I think that's kind of important to me. And I think for anyone who has gone out and done the work and earned, that car, that status symbol, more power to you. I salute you. You guys went out and did the thing and got the reward, and, that is so awesome. And in this new kind of age, it's not about, like it was before, 40, 80-hour weeks. And I can tell you, I worked at kind of a whiz-bang, skunk works, top-of-the-line technology company, with the latest technology at the time, doing whiz-bang type stuff, jet engine type stuff and things like that. And let me tell you, it was fun, it was awesome, but you were literally sleeping under your desk and working 80 hours a week. Well, the world doesn't work like that anymore. And so that's got to go away. And I know with myself, that's been something that, I know that's the old way. The old way don't work anymore. Wake up, time to step into the new. And I know this idiot, I'm going to admit, I think it's kind of funny, actually. This idiot, is having an issue sometimes, like, controlling my emotions. I know with, like, Asperger's and ADHD, and people say, oh, you screwed up your time card yet again. You did it right last week. How come you can't do it now? Things like that. You hear that over and over again. And it's just, like, it becomes ingrained. If somebody tells you you're an idiot 9,000 times, like Gurren likes to do with Yuichiro Hyakuya in Seraph of the End, and I know I always thought it was funny that his commander is named Gurren, and, in his demon army, and in my Gridscan book, the commander is named Galen. Now, I named Galen years ago. I didn't even know Gurren until, I don't know, last month. So I find that interesting. But yeah. And Lena looks a little bit like Hyakuya. Like, what was that? But yeah, so the thing is, you need to forgive yourself. And, I know I'm learning this law of attraction thing and this consciousness and positivity, but it's a lot easier in the past energy for me to immediately go to self-deprecation, shaming myself, beating myself up for not doing it fast enough, and, more power to all the young people who just, like, got this down pat, immediately. I got a lot of baggage, and I literally need to, like, throw it across, over the deck. We need to, like, get rid of it. I know that, but you know what? I gotta admit that, it's very difficult for me, hallelujah haptism, Gundam 00 to be all, 100% positivity all the time. Okay, so I'm watching Setsuna, do some Gundam moves all over the AEU, and that's going to make me happy. Or now to, go up in Nighthead, and save his little brother. And that'll bring me happiness for a moment. But then those over and over years of shame, the shadow work from childhood with my inner child that I still need to do, the baggage of past relationships and the projection from, parental units that, like, have nothing to do with me, but, I seem to be the scapegoat target at the time. Well, you know what? I'm not 5. Get over it. You're an adult. Fix it yourself. Nobody's going to come save you. But sometimes when life throws you a bunch of things at the same time, or especially, as an Aspie person with all the changes that have happened just this year, and the energy from the moon and the Mercury retrograde and Saturn retrograde, or, who's projecting who to what in my space at the moment, and all those are things that I can feel, but, whatever, I don't care, bring it, but you can't all, in the new energy, whipping out your sword and going to battle ain't gonna work. That, that's not gonna work, that's not how the world goes. That's not how the consciousness is. If you can raise your vibration and be positive, the universe will hear that. And literally, everything is the universe. And let me tell you, all hail to the universe, because this idiot, definitely, we would have been there, done that at least 9 times over. And so I definitely have to say, I am humbled and I am grateful for the universe, for everything that I have, because, this could have been really different. So, every time, the sun comes up and I get to wake up and see it, that's another good day for me to, be the best that I can be and do the best that I can do. And so if I'm in a world of hurt and negative self-talk, I ain't going to be able to do that. But I do need to be able to, and this is something I'm learning, let go of shame, and learn to be more positive. And let me tell you, it's definitely, been difficult, and kind of those little alleluia haptism, Gundam 00 curious moments. You gotta have something to fight for, but the fight is different. It's not with swords this time. This time it's with thoughts and positivity and hope. I write so no one has to go through what I went through. And it's about intent and raising consciousness. And the old energy wasn't like that. And I know, I understand positivity. So, hey, I'm watching Setsuna, being Setsuna, or, Gundam Nadle all up, in beta, and yeah, that makes me happy. Or, I'm watching, Gurren, chide, Yuichiro Hyakuya from, Seraph of the End while they're kicking demons. Well, some of that's old energy, and the world didn't come to an end, so that's great. All that was done by consciousness, and positivity and intent. And I can tell you, I understand, what the law of attraction is, and I understand the importance of positivity, and I get the intent thing. But in the old energy, and I can say, when I was working whiz-bang cutting-edge technology, working on, jet engines, which, let me tell you, was a lot of fun, in one of my, technology jobs, that was a lot of fun. But we're talking, 80 hours a week, like drinking espresso, sleeping under your desk, and, work was life, and that was who you were. And sure, I enjoyed every minute of that. It taught me, how to do whiz bang, move 1,000 miles an hour. I mean, I worked on fighter jets. Fighter jets ended war, and from any given direction. It's a skill I have, but a lot of that was like, blowing comets out of the sky. Well, we're not blowing comets out of the sky anymore. Or slicing things, slicing Demon Slayer, boulders, with katana. That's not how it works anymore. A lot of this is positivity and intent. And that has, I can be, like I said, in positivity, but then, I can get swayed. Now, some of that is, because of neurodivergence. And some of that is because of shadow work I still need to do, and, hearing that you're an idiot every 5 minutes, like since you were 2. You got to get over that. I'm not 2 anymore. And some of that is allowing people to walk all over your boundaries. Well, you allowed that, so you got some responsibility there. But that's done. That's over. I grew a boundary now. To step into it and be that, And that is something that, I've been fighting with. I understand it. And so I need to learn to forgive myself. And so for the past 2 weeks, that's definitely, I've been working on trying to stay in a positive energy. But what I want to say now is just some ways to forgive yourself. And I think I've talked about this a little bit in one of my ADHD rumination videos. Especially, if you're dealing with PTSD, or at least I've learned, and anxiety and depression, or you have trauma, either childhood trauma or relationship trauma or whatever, hearing someone say, well, just be positive and just throw your baggage away, can be a little frustrating, because we can't, I know I can't be positive every single moment of every single day. And I know that at least me, the intent thing, I don't remember if I, erased that part of this video because I recorded part of it again. I was talking about, my friend asked me, have you earned your BMW yet? Well, technically, I would have to say yes. But there's a part of me that says, no, you haven't earned your BMW yet. Because you're unworthy. And some of that unworthy is, you grew up as a scapegoat child, or were, in, narcissistic relationship where somebody gaslit you. Well, were you unworthy, or was that a learned behavior? Or because, you wrote a book and didn't sell 1 billion copies, well, I set out to write 1 book and sell 1 copy. Well, I wrote about 30, 40 books and sold more than 1 copy, but, I did, that's not why I wrote books. I wrote books so that they could help people. And if I have to help 1 person at a time, that's it. That's all I care about. I remember, I was talking to this lady, I guess they were doing a service for me. And, she said she had, like, a junior high school son who wanted to grow up and be a mangaka, and I was like, hey, well, I have a manga out that won some awards, and it's science fiction. I would gladly, autograph a copy of this manga, and, leave a personal message. And, I told her, well, no matter however many people discourage your son, tell him never to quit. and keep going. Now, I remember when I was first drawing pages from my manga, grid scan, back, when the characters first showed up in 5th grade and I drew the first pages, random pages of comic. I still have those 5 or 6 pages. In the 9th grade, people were like, that's never going to happen. I'm like, yeah, I will be a manga artist. Watch me. Okay? And in 2022, my grid scan Psycho Dive manga won 2 awards. And the web series screened at film festivals. And the books, the novels won awards. Well, they didn't do that before. And, before, people were like, yeah, they suck. That was maybe 10 years ago. But those same books that sucked, now won an award. So, guess what? Have you earned your BMW yet? People told me I sucked for years and years and years. And yeah, there's a bunch of, I'm a law of attraction idiot. I can definitely tell you that. I'm still working on it. Hopefully I'm going to get it, but, figure it out. I'll get there, my pace, but, I understood the old world. We're not in the old world. The old world is over. In the old world, everything was a fight. And everything was work. And everything was hard. And especially if you were, LGBT or non-binary or trans or a minority or a different religion or, you had a, color to your skin, or, you were mixed or a hafu or indigenous or, whatever you were, or black, or Hispanic or Asian, there's always something, some border, some boundary, some glass ceiling, we're just like, I'm sorry, you ain't gonna go there, but there are people who have, and they fought the good fight, and they did that and did whatever. I remember, people telling me, stop writing, you suck. I remember my dean, from college saying, well, just give it up, and that was because my ADHD couldn't cooperate with, well, you got to go to class. Well, class is boring. I don't want to go, but you can go to Japanese class, and you can go to Asian religion class, and you can go to medieval music theory class, or you can go to astronomy, or sculpture, or, storyboarding and character design, but you can't seem to go to math class, or philosophy, or, something boring. No. My ADHD ain't doing boring. I mean, who do you think I am? Whatever. You're a student, go to class. Otherwise, I'm going to fail you. So, yeah, failed my share of classes. But, yeah, hold on. But that's not the point. The education system has never been made for people who are neurodivergent. That's a whole other conversation. But this conversation, forgive yourself. So here's a couple tips. 1, you don't suck. Okay, so fine. You make a mistake, you fall down. They want you to stay down. Show them something different. Get up. And if you fall down 100 times, we'll get up 101 times. Keep trying. With this intent thing that's going on, be positive. You can do anything you set your mind to. That's something my dad told me. And I know that Father's Day is coming up. And I always thought of, Hikaru from Macross and Roy Fokker. I always looked up to my dad as kind of like the Roy Fokker. Because he used to tell me stories about, him getting a chance to fly in jets. And I remember I always wanted to go to the Air Force Academy, but you know what? I can't even make my bed, so I'm glad we didn't go there because that wasn't going to happen. Okay, so I write about fighter pilots in my book. This is as close as I'm going to come. I'll say that's a win. So, anyway, forgive yourself. You're past shame. You know, if there's something you got to work on, some of that's probably projection or whatever. That's not you. You know, that may have happened in the past, but, you know, you're going to have to pick yourself up. I know you're strong enough. And especially for the LGBT community and the trans and non-binary, people trying to push your buttons every single day. You know what? Prove them wrong. You're better than that. You know, you're some of the strongest people on the face of this planet. And you know what? Forgive yourself, because you are truly beautiful. And on top of that, the universe loves you, because the universe made you beautiful just the way you are. Peace. Namaste. Love and light.